Good morning. This morning I want to talk about Kim Yo Jung, however she pronounces her name, the sister of Kim Yo, her brother. At any rate, I had done a reading on her and I decided not to upload it because at the time I did the reading, I felt conflicted about it. I'm not really sure why, but I decided that I would go ahead and pull it because I didn't feel like just something about it didn't have the right energy for me. But needless to say, at the time, the point of my video was that I really was and still am convinced that her brother, Kim Jong-il, whatever, he is no longer with us. I felt his energy leave. Now, I went ahead and I did the natal chart for Kim Yo Jung, and I found something quite interesting in February of this year, that she had some energy going on that was around secrets, around deceptions. And I found that kind of interesting because I really believe that in April her brother passed away. So is she involved in some secrets? I would say that most likely. Sorry about moving my camera. That probably is a little rough looking. Anyway, I think that she is somebody that has some secrets. And the reason I want to talk about this today, the reason I'm even bothering to bring this up, is because when I did the reading, I had gotten very clearly that it's very likely that the Koreas are going to unite together. Well, when I got that from my reading back when I did it a while back and didn't post it, one of the things I found fascinating, I find fascinating about this, is Psychic Violetta says that she believes the two Koreas are going to unite. And that is precisely what I got as well. That the two Koreas, as a result of this current situation, energy, whatever you want to call it, it has created a situation where the two Koreas are going to become one again. And that's where I think this is going. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a reading as to whether or not the two Koreas will unite, and how does the sister Kim Yo Jung factor into this? I think that there are several things about how she might be factoring into this. And one thing I can tell you is that in looking at her natal chart, what I'm seeing is, she's a fairly balanced human. She's her moon is in Scorpio, so she is going to have a tendency to be kind of secretive, mysterious, and somebody that is going to be difficult for us to understand, because she's going to be very, very stoic. And I do believe that is when I see images of her, because when I do see pictures of people, I almost always have a really fairly deep impression of them psychically. So, and when I saw pictures of her, I just thought, oh no, this is a terrible development for her to be the leader of the North Koreas. And I felt that way because I just felt like she just looked so cold and so distant and so Capricorn, just cold, just unwilling to understand on a personal level anybody's needs. Now, somebody with the universal type of energy that as a Capricorn is, they're more interested in the big picture. But at any rate, one of the things that I immediately find interesting as that her moon is in Scorpio, and that in her chart, that some things that factor large are she's got secrets in a foreign way, and she's got, in her 11th house, she's got hidden information. Her health and wellness, or health and wellness factor into why she's in office, which is very interesting. But one thing I do want to say about her chart that I also find a little bit on the troubling side for her is that she also has energy in the 6th house, health, wellness, and obstacles. And what I'm seeing there is that I don't believe that she's going to fare well as a female leader for North Korea. So with that, I'm going to put the camera down and I'm going to go ahead and begin the reading. Okay, so where we start out is that we have the Queen of Pentacles. She is born on, let's see, I think she's a Virgo. Yeah, September 26, 1987. Okay, and let's see, I'm trying to remember, is Virgo. Okay, anyway, so she is a earth-based sign, which would be this card here, the Queen of Pentacles, okay? And what it's being crossed by is that, well, she's in a battle. And I think she's in a battle because for the people of North Korea to legitimately accept her as a leader would be to ask them to stretch their thinking quite a bit, because of how that particular family came into power and how they view themselves. They're deities beyond, what is human. So in addition to the fact that they consider themselves deities, to have a woman be a deity, that might be a bit of a stretch for the people of North Korea. So it's a bit of a battle to bring her into power at this time. What is above is the Page of Wands. This holding back of information, this keeping things from coming out too quickly. They want to keep this information hidden, and this is in a past position. And this card, we have a Hanged Man. I think this represents her brother, Kim Yo Jung, who probably isn't alive. And as you can see, the coffin tied to the tree, to try to keep him rooted in life that no longer exists, is a part of this energy. And again, this is a past position, but it is still, at this time, something that is being kept from the public. So I do believe he is dead and gone. Now, I could be wrong, of course, but I do believe that Kim Jong-un is dead and gone. In addition to this, she gets the 5 of Swords. She's dancing around a fire right now. It's highly tenable. She is in a situation where, for her to take a role of leadership openly, obviously, she is going to do it in a very warlike manner. She's going to make threats, throw things at people, do things to prove that she's legitimately a powerhouse. Now, will that work for her? It is difficult to say, but what goes on above, so goes on below. You've got information and discontent, and you have trouble. So, chances are pretty good that that no matter what she does, it's not going to turn out real well. In addition, that she gets a Five of Pentacles, feeling out in the cold, not really being able to connect with the situation of the people of North Korea. And I think there might be many, many reasons for this. And one of them may be that this virus that we have currently factors into how effective can a leader even be at this point. And in addition to being an effective leader in the middle of a pandemic, are the people willing to accept that change of leadership? I don't think so. At the heart of it, the world is watching. Of course we are. We are all watching. I think all of us have felt for many years that Korea, North Korea in particular, was a threat to us. And right now, the breakdown in leadership in all ways is, obviously not something that was anticipated, because they surely didn't do enough to protect themselves or to protect us as humans. So the world is watching right now. Everything is, all eyes are upon all things, but particularly all eyes are upon the Koreas. And why might that be? Well, here is a Nine of Wands. This is speaking to the discontent of the people, the divine discontent, being in a completion cycle, that they're no longer willing to be slaves of a deity government, and a deity government that keeps changing the rules at that. If we are to be led to believe that the folks in that family were gods, well, their family is sure functioning a lot like any other family. So I think that, no matter what, it's an energy that was meant to come to divine discontent. What's in our hopes and fears position is a Knight of Swords. Something swiftly will move in and chop this situation down. Does that mean that the sister Kim, let me see if I could say her name right, Kim Yo Jung, does that mean that she'll be set aside? I think it's entirely plausible that she will not be able to lead the people of the North Koreas, and partially because her energy as a female is very stoic. It is very cold. It's just energy that, not to say that she couldn't be a fine leader. I really don't know that, but I do know that currently, as it is, that everything about the leadership of North Korea has been set up around somebody being more or less a god. And everything that's happening to the family that has been set up to be a deity doesn't look very godlike. And so there is this reality situation coming into it in our hopes and fears position. And in the conclusion position, it's illusion and delusion to think that the people of North Korea are going to accept the sister as their leader. But my question was, and still is, and so I'm going to continue the reading, and where I'm going to ask this for this clarification is in our hopes and fears position, where we have this this Knight of Swords moving in. Is that the sister being asked to leave, or not being accepted essentially as the leader of North Korea, and the unification of the two Koreas? Because ultimately that's what I see happening. I see the Koreas ultimately being united, and the first card I get is a Two of Swords. There are negotiations, it appears, as we speak, with South Korea. I think that the crisis for them currently is that the virus, the two locations being separated, the way the one country, the North, has handled the virus versus the way the South has handled the virus. I think that there's discussions taking place right now about all of these issues. We will continue, and it has been, there has been discontent. There's been battling. They are discussing amongst themselves how to deal with this, because the peoples of Korea, the leadership has to be made known to them. Okay, so let's keep looking. Please tell us, Spirit, about the sister being in a position of leadership. Is this going to cause the two Koreas to come together as one? And I think that that's ultimately what is going to happen. And as I said, Psychic Violetta said something similar yesterday, and I have to say I so deeply agree that there is something in that way happening. It came to my awareness in April, so I think it's been going on a while. And so what do we get here? We get the King of Pentacles, that from a earth-based financial base, from a point of view of the Koreas being really one country divided into two places and people being cut in half, it is time for them to start to talk about that and look at that. And yes, the leadership of the South Koreas is discussing with the leadership of North Korea. Now, again, I'm not feeling like the sister Kim Yo Jung is going to take this willingly. But what's interesting in her chart, additionally, is that she has some energy where she could have obstacles in her 6th house, her health, wellness, and obstacles. And that's also, her midheaven. So that's how people see her. They see her as somebody that's easy to trick and somebody that they can deceive. So will she be deceived? I do believe she's going to be told things that she wants to hear, and then I do believe they're not going to be honest with her. And right now, bringing these two places together is just a lot of hard work, but it is work nonetheless that is going on. And we will just keep looking, because I think this is such an important question, the reunification of the North and South Korea for the people. It's just such an important issue, because they've had loss, and that loss has divided families. I actually happened to have been in Germany when the wall was coming down, and at the time I remember standing with my brother on the west side of the wall, looking over to the east, and feeling despair for the people on the east side, because they would stand up on a platform as well and look over at us. So it was heartbreaking. It was just a heartbreaking situation. So I think that that's breaking down, and what's coming is a celebration. The happy family cards, the giving and receiving of cups, the fact that we are going to move into a different energy with the Koreas. So yes, I do believe what we have right now is a situation where the leader has passed away, and that has not been shared with the public as a whole. The sister is now the leader of North Korea. That has not been shared with the public. But what looks to be going on behind the scenes is that someone is discussing with the South Koreas a way of moving forward, which, wow, that is some interesting information. And what was at the bottom of the pack on the, this was the Spellcaster deck, was the devil. Yeah, the devil's in the details here, isn't it? I think that the sister is currently the leader of North Korea. I think that she's tied to the secret. She's tied to the lies. And what's additionally underneath that, another Arcana card, is the Magician, trying to keep it under wraps, trying to keep things quiet, trying to keep the world from finding out that her brother is no longer alive. So, well, if I got this one incorrectly, so be it. But I used the Spellcaster deck as the main cards, and for the clarification cards, I used the After Tarot, and of course, I used Kim Yo Jung's birth chart. If you would like to book a reading with me, please go to twiggie.com. Please also hit the like, share, and subscribe button. And I do personal readings. I do astrology readings of all types, and I do astrology tarot readings. And all of this information is available on my website, www.twiggie.com. And so I look forward to having you hit my like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much for joining me here today.